Derrick Rose, the explosive point guard from Chicago, had risen from the streets of Englewood to become the youngest MVP in NBA history. His future seemed limitless, a beacon of hope for his city and his fans. But what no one saw coming was the crash, a series of devastating injuries that would rob him of his prime years, tear apart the dreams he had built, and leave everyone questioning if he would ever play again.
Derrick Rose. Windy City Assassin does it again. This guy is awesome. That's the only point guard in the league that can make that play.
This is the story of Derrick Rose's rise, fall, and ultimate triumph. A story of pain, perseverance, and the refusal to give up.
Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I should overcome, what for? Train in the trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no channel for chip.
Born in Chicago's Englewood neighborhood, Derrick Rose was no stranger to adversity. Growing up, life wasn't easy. The streets of Chicago were tough, and Rose's family had to fight for everything they had. But basketball was Rose's escape. It was on the courts of his neighborhood that he found purpose, not just in the game, but in proving to the world that someone from his background could rise above. From a young age, Rose displayed explosive athleticism and a skill set that was unmatched. As a teenager, he starred for Simeon High School, leading them to back-to-back state championships. His talent was undeniable, and soon, college programs and NBA scouts were flocking to see this young phenom play. Derrick would go on to play 1 year at the University of Memphis, where he led the team to the NCAA championship game. His performance was electric. It didn't take long for the NBA to take notice. In 2008, Derrick Rose was selected first overall by the Chicago Bulls. The hometown kid was heading to the league. A dream had come true. In 2011, Derrick Rose finally reached the peak of his career. The Chicago Bulls, led by their young star, became the best team in the Eastern Conference, and Rose was named the youngest MVP in NBA history. He was electrifying, leading his team with a mixture of speed, agility, and heart that made him the face of the NBA. But the pressure of being the MVP wasn't the only weight Derrick carried. He was also carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire city. A city that hadn't seen a championship since the Michael Jordan era. And Derrick, with his unshakable drive, was determined to bring the Bulls back to their glory days. Just as the world seemed to align perfectly for Derrick Rose, tragedy struck. In the opening game of the 2012 playoffs, with the Bulls leading by a comfortable margin, Derrick Rose for a routine play, a move that had become second nature to him. But something went horribly wrong.
We're looking to sweep you guys. You wanted us. You were crying out that you bypassed the harder team in Miami Heat.
Rose came down bad on his left foot. See him holding on to his knee, and down.
Derrick collapsed on the court, clutching his left knee. The diagnosis was a torn ACL. The injury was catastrophic, one that would sideline him for the entire next season. The MVP was gone, and with him, so was the hope of a championship for the Chicago Bulls. But the young Rose fought back. He worked, and worked a little bit more. For most athletes, An injury like this would have been the end, but not for Derrick Rose. For the next 2 years, Rose fought through the pain. Every day was a battle. Endless hours in the gym, pushing himself to heal, to get back to the player he once was. But the mental toll was just as damaging. Derrick, once a player filled with joy and confidence, now had to deal with the fear of never being the same again. When Derrick finally returned to the court, it wasn't the same. His explosiveness, his speed, was it gone? Many fans and analysts said it was. The question became, would he ever return to his MVP form? The basketball world moved on, and Derrick found himself still fighting for validation, still trying to prove that he wasn't just the shell of the player he once was. After stints with the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers, Derrick found a new home with the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2018. And it was here that the world would see a new chapter in Derrick's story. On October 31st, 2018, Derrick Rose played a game that would become one of the most emotional and powerful moments in NBA history. Facing the Utah Jazz, he put on a performance that would silence his critics once and for all. 50 points, a career high. It wasn't just a game, it was a redemption. It was a moment of triumph. 50 points, but more importantly, it was Derrick Rose's triumph over adversity. His emotions poured out as the crowd chanted his name. For the first time in years, Derrick Rose had proven to the world that he was back. The MVP was no longer just a memory. It was a story of survival, resilience, and rebirth. In 2024, after a long, grueling career that saw him rise, fall, and rise again, Derrick Rose made the difficult decision to retire. But before he did, he was honored by his home team, the Chicago Bulls, with a jersey retirement ceremony. Number 1, the number that once carried the weight of a city's hopes and dreams, was raised into the rafters of the United Center. The tribute wasn't just for the MVP, it was for the young man who fought against every obstacle life threw his way. It was for the player who defied the odds, who gave everything to a game that almost took everything from him. And it was for the man who never lost his heart for the game, no matter how many setbacks he faced. Derrick Rose's story is one of heart, of resilience, and of the unyielding will to fight. Though he may have never won the championship his city dreamed of, he earned something far more important: the respect of his peers, the admiration of fans worldwide, and the unbreakable legacy of a champion who never gave up. Derrick Rose may have lost years to injury, but what he found in that time was something more valuable: resilience. His story is a reminder to us all. Success isn't always about the destination, it's about the fight to get there. The heart of a champion never fades, no matter the odds. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe For more incredible stories from the world of sports,